Was ist denn dein Zeichen? Welcome to Formnext 2019.
We are happy to welcome you today at our booth, EOS booth, and we would like to we would like to show you today our new innovations. And therefore we invited our special guest Denise, a Paralympic cyclist and a more medal winner, and she will introduce herself more detailed.
Hello, I'm Denise. I'm a Paralympic medalist. I'm a professional cyclist since more than 9 years already, and I use 3D printed technology for my sports prosthesis and as well for my covers and my bath prosthesis. So it's going to be an exciting topic that we discuss today.
Yeah, and I look really forward. So, giving you a short introduction. So, why are you using and wearing prosthesis, and how it comes that you have a 3D printed one?
Yeah. I had an accident with the tram when I was 2 years old. So since I grew up as a child, I'm used to like having prostheses. And in the past, they were like manufactured in a traditional way. So you have plastic cast, and then it's made out of carbon fiber in the meanwhile, and you have your daily walking prosthesis. So in the last 10 years, a lot changed in the way we manufacture prostheses, and it's still about to change the whole process. So what happens now is that we have more and more sports prostheses. So why do we need a different kind of prosthesis while doing sport? You just have to imagine, like, if you would go running, you wouldn't use your business shoe
No, ever.
going on a treadmill.
No, yeah, that makes no sense. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have different needs because you have different pressure points, a different kind of movement while you're doing a specific sport. And the same is for us. We need different prostheses if you want to do really sport. Like, for example, running, or for me, cycling. And also, like, if I want to go swimming, I need a prosthetic that's 100% waterproof. So being able to have different kind of prostheses also for us opens up a door to really get back into that normal life again that is like been before closed or locked up for us. So it's now with new technologies and manufacturing coming in, it opens up this world again for us.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, it is live. So the prosthesis is something like an equipment for you. So like a sport shoe, so you wear, depends on your situation, daily life, sports activities, a different prosthesis. So you brought some designs with you. So
As an example, at the moment we have a very interesting change. Like in the past, we used to wear prostheses that look like a regular leg. So they had like cosmetic covers, and everything was made on the prosthetic just to look like a real leg. Finally, finally this changed. So we becoming more self-confident, and we stop hiding having a prosthesis. So what you can see here is a white cover that can be used like for a woman, like if you want to have a dress that you would like to wear, and just to express yourself and in a more feminine way. On this side, I have, this is like actually my prosthesis I use when I go walk into the water and if I'm in the ocean. So I use the design or choose the design, which is like more blue, black, more similar to the ocean, and I really love that one because it just goes with the waves, and you have that design process.
So this is a waterproofed prosthesis. So this one is especially made for your water activities, and you designed it by yourself?
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is a waterproof. This is a 3D printed foot, which is very new and innovative. We have a 3D printed design cover, which I was also been taking part of in the design process. And the socket is still made in an old manufacturing way, so it's made by my orthopedic technician, but everything around is already 3D printed. And the benefit is, like, I can walk into the water and I walk through the sand, and if I go out and I just go under the shower, there's no more sand inside. So you have to know, before we had like this foot that with the cosmetic cover and all the beautiful sand and the water was sticking in there. And so you go back into your hotel room and the sand is everywhere. Like the trouser you put over knee on top is like wet, and you just like, it's so annoying. So it's really a benefit not to have that anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So, and just to give you a short impression how actually this prosthesis covers looks like after they came out of the printer. So they are, as Denise already described, they are white and have some different design possibilities. So as you can see here, this birds on it, or even flowers, or this really depends on the final user. And this can be designed with a design software made by Mercurius. So the company Mercurius is here the design expert, and they made the software based on the needs of their users.
Exactly. And what is totally interesting, like they have a platform. So as an orthopedic technician, also as a customer, you can go on there and you can really design on your own. You can design the back. You can you hold it? You can design the front. You can choose if you want to have different colors like I have here. You can choose if you want to have holograms inside, what kind of holograms, and you can make it your own piece. And I think, to me, this is something very, very important, to be able now to give the prosthesis your unique look. Because that helps a lot for us to really have a kind of self-expression, to identify with your prosthesis, which is not always easy, you know, because you don't wake up amputated and then you say, wow, I'm amputated, I have a prosthesis now. So it's a process to be fine with it. And I'm convinced that, like, really being able to choose your own design with the prosthetic helps a lot to identify better with it.
And what's really impressive as well, I mean, you mentioned that you are, since your second birthday, already amputated. Yeah. Especially for children, it makes really sense to create something where they feel comfortable with, where they somehow, feel special, but in a positive way. And maybe you can explain or describe a bit how it was for you.
Exactly, because in my childhood they always tried to make it as look like a normal leg again. And now finally kids have the chance to choose a design they can identify with them. I give you an example. If Larissa, she's 8 years now, loves pink unicorns, she can put the pink unicorns on the cover. And that, because it's something she loves, why shouldn't she wear that on her leg? So it help her to really to accept the prosthetic as something unique, special, and she may feel like a power woman, superwoman with that unicorns on top. And also for the guys, you know, they can have like Superman on top or whatever they want or want to choose. So whatever they love, they can put on the covers. And being a child, having something unique like that, and it becomes now fancy, is something very, very special, amazing, and that makes a totally game changer, because it just turns the way how we look at this. That at first was something that we want to hide, something like that's uncool, becomes a unique piece that's now cool and interesting and nice to have.
Yeah. And of course, in addition to this great design features, this prosthesis has to fulfill certain requirements in terms of medical related topics. So these kind of prostheses are not only looking nice, so they're of course fulfilling certain requirements, and especially as a medical application, they have to fulfill mechanical, the standards, the medical standards, and the mechanical properties, and for example, mechanical properties. So if you use this with your weight, so and Denise is a very sporty woman. Imagine that there is maybe a grown man with has a bit more weight on it. So this prosthesis has to handle him as well on a safe way. And this is what this prosthesis can do as well. So related to the mechanical properties, it fulfills them very well. It's already tested, and it's CE certificated. So you can, here we go, as you can see, it's really proven. And the mechanical properties is one thing, but also the material properties themselves. It has to be biocompatibility, of course. So it's certified here as well. So the material is totally fine in skin contact, that you don't have any skin irritations or sensitivizations. So it's really proved to be used at the human body. And
and that's very important, because like you can imagine, like I really use that, like I go surfing, I go, you know, walk into on the beach, I'm jumping, I'm running, so it really has to work. So there's no way that I'm running and like my foot is breaking away, so that's no fun. So it really has to hold 100%, last 100%. That's always very, very crucial. So so that's why we need the standards and the certification that it's proven 100%, which it is, and there is a big testing in front of us until you get that. So so you can, it's really reliable and working, and proof, you can believe me, I really tested it very, very well. So
every user, Denise Schindler at the EOS booth today.
So every prosthetic that overdues me is fine to go into production. So it's really very important and crucial.
Yeah. And I don't know, Denise, did you seen already the part, or better just mentioned the little Barbie? So you can get since October this year from Mattel the Barbie with a prosthesis leg. And to explain shortly how this can modify it, we also demonstrated simply. So you have here the Barbie. The Barbie leg. You can really put it off. Yes, and you can choose different designs as well for your Barbie and adapt it as in your real life as well. Yeah.
But I heard about it. So I heard that they have now also like wheelchair Barbies, and I heard about that one. I didn't saw it in real, but I think it's very, very good that we have that now, because it's about role models, and Barbie is a role model. You know, you grow up with it, and I'm always saying we only have the chance to change society or to make a change in our mind if we start from the little ones. So they are the ones we have to make a change. And the thing is, how does it get normal to us when we raise up with it, and when it's like in our daily life, and when we get in touch with the people. So I think having a Barbie with a prosthetic, a Barbie that's in a wheelchair, that makes it more normal, more natural, just not something strange. So it becomes normal, it becomes natural to play with it. You ask your mom what happened to her, why does she have that? So you have that explanation, and the next time she's gonna meet someone with a prosthetic, it's gonna be a normal thing. She will say, "Hey mom, that's like my Barbie. Oh, she looks nice." And then it's just becoming natural, and that's a very, very amazing step forward to make it a natural way to interact with each other, and to really, like, you see, that's amazing. Huh? I love it.
So this was made actually a few days before Formnext, made by our application team. Thank you to the application team, EOS application team. So as you can see here, so we had this great idea in mind, creating a 3D printed prosthesis for this beautiful Barbie, and they make it real in a very short time. And we had the idea, and one day after they design it and print it, and yeah, today we have it here at our booth.
Yeah, but that also shows like the fast supply, you know, and the fast chain. So like you can really easily do that in 1-2 days, which like normally if I would ask you in a traditional way to do that, it would take like 1 week to make it.
And then it's fast already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, for example, depends on the country where you are. The knowledge of orthopedics is there, then you are lucky. Then you can get quite fast very good prosthesis. And if not, then of course, then you have to wait. And 80% of the population who actually needs medical devices don't have any access to these devices. So imagine what 3D printing and this technology can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a big issue we have. We don't have enough skilled orthopedic technicians, and also, well, in Germany we are very privileged, so we do have a very high standard, but also here the problem is that most of the people don't choose to become an orthopedic technician anymore. So it's becoming less and less people who become trainees and learn how to make prosthetics. So it's really a problem. I know that from my orthopedic technician, if they want to hire young people, it's really hard for them to get people into that. And I think, and I'm convinced that like with the 3D technologies, with the new solutions, and also like being more able to have a design process, I think it's more attractive to the young people to get into that field again, and to learn that kind of job, which is very challenging, because on the one hand you need to have a lot of hand skills in the manufacturing, but on the other side you really have to have medical aspects and knowledge, and on the other hand you need that 3D visualization.
We call it additive minds.
Yeah, additive minds. So there is a lot of skills you have to to become a good orthopedic technician, and we need young people to get into that job. And I think 3D printing and the new technologies are something to make it more sexy and more attractive to get people involved into that field.
Yeah. So all young people out there, please also be maybe interested on the orthopedic technician job in the future. And yeah, using 3D printing would be one thing to make this yeah, for digital worlds optimized. So we need you out there to use this technology in the right way. What else can we show you today? So maybe you can tell us something about your other equipment, for example, your main tool, your bicycle. What kind of bicycle are you using?
Oh, I have 6 different bicycles. So it's just not only one I'm using, but most of the time I'm using a road bike. So most of the training volume I'm doing is done on my road bike. Then I have a specific time trial bike, which is just made to race against the clock outside. Okay. And then I have 2 different kind of track bikes, one for racing in the field, and then for the pursuit, which is one of my best categories and I'm best at. And then I have, like, for leisure, I have a mountain bike as well, and a crosser. And it's like I have a couple of bikes, but the most of the work is done on the road bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So what was your wonderful or your beautiful event you attend with your bicycle? So was it more in private or more in athletic field? So
there's different ways or reasons why I love actually cycling, I have to say. So there's, on the one hand, these moments where when you're out there training and you have that wonderful day, the sun is shining, it's over 20 degrees, which is not now. and then you have that flow, you're out there for already 3 hours, and then you just enjoy that, and then we call it like, it's like a runner's high. You also have that as a cyclist. And this is the moments like when you're out there in the nature, when you just run with your bike and you just feel alive and you're just happy to have such like a precious life to enjoy that and to be able to see the nature. And then there's the other hand, like I'm a racer, so being an athlete, you always look for challenges in your life, and I had like my challenges like World Championships, Paralympic Games, which I attended in London and in Rio. So the like
Very successfully.
yeah, and
World Cup
there,
winner.
yeah, like competing there is always something very very special. But there are races like, for example, like my World Championships like 2 years ago in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, that was also a challenge somehow, right? So
Yeah,
you had
exactly.
a special situation there.
I had a very special situation because you have to know at the Paralympic Games 2016 I got disqualified in the velodrome in Rio de Janeiro, and 2 years later they said like, look, we have the World Championships there, and I was like, last time I was there I got qualified and I went out of the velodrome crying, so it was not a really happy ending for me. And then I came back like 2 years later and I was competing against the same person again, and at that time I made it, you know. I became world champion. I got back to the track, you know. I showed my potential that I had that I couldn't show the last time I've been there, and it was something like which will always stay in my heart.
And the thing was this strategic you have put on that day, right? Because you was disqualified not because of your potential. It was not the problem at all. It was your strategy. So it's always also a mixture of the right strategy at the right time, right?
Yeah, it was a mixture of the strategy and mistakes that have been taken place. And so it came all together, and then I got overtaken. Then I was not like, there's a like you cannot overtake back, so I had to staying behind her, but she became so slow. I was like, they say there I was drafting, then I got disqualified. It's a very very long story. I think we don't have enough minutes for that, but it's like, yeah, but that's athlete's life, you know. It's ups and downs, and you have that upside stories when you become world champion, and you have the stories when you become disqualified. So it's both sides, and
you never give up. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think, but that's life, you know. It's all about going up and down and taking the values, and then taking the peaks and the mountains. So I think it belongs to us that we have both sides and accept both sides.
So you mentioned your bicycles. Bicycle equipment, for example, a bicycle saddle is also something which we would like to show you.
Important. The fit is very important.
And the comfort for the bicycle saddle is also very important. And we have some innovations very new out of our application team. So I would like to show you that as well at our booth.
Yeah.
Please follow us. So, maybe once again, welcome to EOS booth at the Formnext 2019. We are here together with Denise Schindler, Paralympic cyclists. And so our booth is very big, as you can see here, and we have different areas. So as we are a technology provider for metal systems as well as for polymer systems, we have also some cool polymer materials in our product portfolio. And based on that, our newest innovation, we created a bicycle saddle. So yes, what you can see here is our new material.
Yeah, but it's the first time I'm actually touching it. So it's much softer and much more comfort. It's not like carbon.
No, this is actually the goal here. So we had the idea to create a customized saddle. And it's made out of TPU, so it's a soft touch material. What Denise already explained here, it's a soft element. And this can, based on the lattice structure, copy paste different hardnesses and strengthness. And depends on your individual needs. We can create these designs for you and design, for example, also an individual saddle for Denise.
Yeah, it totally makes sense because you have to know if you're riding for 3, 4, 5 hours. A lot of cyclists do have really problems, and not every saddle is fitting for everyone. So, like, depending on how your geometry is, it's always different what your needs are, and also it's different for a man than a woman. So we really have we have pressure points, and we need that kind of spots that have to be where the pressure has to be reduced and where there can be pressure on. And it also depends on how tall you are, how your size is. So being able to really adjust that helps a lot. And I know a lot of people always ask me, how can you sit in the saddle for 3, 4, 5 hours? I'm not even can stand 1 hour without being in pain. So I think that's really a good step forward.
Okay, so we have to discuss that later as well.
Yeah, it's a big issue. We try to reduce it with pants that help us a lot, but having the right saddle is very crucial. Yeah.
And as you can see here, so it's again white. So there's no agent or something here. It's really the pure polymer. And you can color it. And Denise just discovered another part.
Yeah, this looks like an adilette. But I don't think that's a cycling shoe. Huh? It's more like to walk under the shower.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, very interesting. Nice. Are you doing shoes as well, like shoe soles?
Yeah. We are doing shoes as well, and insoles as well, and maybe we can have a look at these examples as well. So they are just over there. Just join me. We will go directly to our next. No, sorry. It's a different direction. Once again. We haven't trained it before. So as you can see here, this is a sport shoe. Under Armour is using our technology for a sole, a 3D printed sole. And we have also some elements and a partnership with with the company Atrex, and this company is developed with us insole for your shoe, and this is customized and based on your pressure map. Different elements are showing up here, so these elements showing different flexibility, and different structures can perform differently and support, and softer or harder depends on the design element. So this is also something we can do.
Yeah, insoles are very important. I know a lot of runners use insoles, and also for cycling we use insoles, and skiers started using them pretty much. So that's very interesting to see the new technology going. And I see there's a helmet. So it means, what is new with the helmet? Is it the inside or?
So this is here a baseball helmet.
Ooh.
And this insole of this baseball helmet is also 3D printed design. So it's a digital foam. And this is just one example, but we have, what a surprise, Denise, also some cycling helmets. And
I thought baseball is not my sport at the moment.
Maybe we have a look at the cycling helmets as well. Just join us. Yeah, this is over there.
Okay.
Willst du?
So where are the cycling helmets? Maybe we have to kick some guys away from the booth? No. So we are searching the helmet, which is somewhere here at the booth. Maybe someone stole it, not to give me the new technology. I don't know. But we need one for Tokyo. Is it aerodynamic?
It's aerodynamic, and we are lucky because the company, our partner company, EOS.Global 3T over there, has also a short cut and explain something about this bicycle helmet.
Okay, let's go. Ah, I see something. Ah. Oh yeah, I know that technology. I think that technology is also like to reduce the pressure when you get really in that case when you have an accident and then you're hitting
Yes, and the company Hexa is the company Hexa developed this honeycomb structures, and they discovered that the PA1101 material is the ideal material because of the mechanical properties they are using here. So it has a high elongation at break, and if it breaks, it won't splinter, so it will not harm yourself. And which is really well prepared. Here we go. This is the inside, and this is the outside. And the aerodynamic.
something more familiar to me. So I would need it like a different size, but
And this is what the company Hexa also developed. So they developed a scanner, so you can scan your head. So this is now a showcase helmet. But you can scan your head and get a really customized helmet, so it won't be flexible, it will fit perfectly. And so in total this is an inlay which is 3D printed, and the cover is traditional foamed.
okay.
And so it has all the benefits you can imagine, and in the ideal way it will fit perfectly, and it is very light, as you can see and feel.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a new innovation, and it's interesting to see where we're gonna head to, because like we, as a cyclist, we have a look at two things: really the safety. It is a very dangerous sport we're doing, and like every training we're doing outside, we always have the risk of a crash, like a car is coming, or you just oversee a stone or something like that. So you really have to be safe with that helmet, and on the other hand you want to have it a bit fancy, looking good, and also be aerodynamic. That's something like we, as a racing in a team, we just trying to save watts as much as we can. So it's a lot of technologies at the moment going on with helmets. So watch out in Tokyo what kind of helmets we're gonna wear.
So Tokyo is summer, the next Paralympic event, right, in 2020. So we will be the fan mile here, and just give you some insights here. So this is produced with a P396, EOS P396, and a PA1101 material. Afterwards, it's dyed in black with the company and the equipment of Dimension, which is also part of the EOS ecosystem, and we providing here the whole solution so that the designers can focus on the design and all these fancy elements they would like to enter. And so we are taking care of the safetiness. So as you can see here, it's again a CE certified product, so it also fulfills all the necessary product requirements. And Hexa did a very good job. So maybe next time a Denise helmet as well. So we will see. So we
have to talk to my current sponsor if he's fine with that.
yeah, right. Oh no, it was from us. Thank you.
So what else can you show me? We got a 3D printed saddle, we got a 3D printed helmet, we got a 3D printed prosthesis.
And now I would say we have a short look at our 3D printers, which
Makes sense.
make all these great parts for us.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting to see how, the processes of the printing itself and how that works.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Let's check that out. All right. So we have at our booth the polymer system, and the polymer system, what you can see today here, it's a running system. It's a P110. It's our smallest polymer system, and yeah, it's running today on PA12 material. So it's one of our standard materials, and just have a look inside, Denise, if you.
When you go inside, so there is, I see like powder. Is that the correct word?
Yes, that's the correct word. So it's a very fine powder, which has a micro diameter of plus minus 50 microns, polymer size. And what you can see, exactly. And if you touch it, it's like an oven as well. So it's quite warm. And so what you can see here, it's a powder. It's coated on a powder blade or with a powder blade.
Process, because the brand is, yes. And that's through the laser sintering process, or yes, how does exactly. It work? Okay.
SLS, so selective laser sintering is here the process, and the laser melts
the layer by layer.
Yeah, you are already the expert here.
Student.
So the layer-wise system will create these parts, and layer-wise you can put up a new powder layer here. The laser will melt it in the regions you would like to, and after that the platform gets down on a layer thickness you defined. So we have different layer thicknesses available. For the polymer PA12 material we have 60 microns, 80 microns, 100 microns, 120 microns, 180 microns. Yes, so you have a
lot of options to choose from.
Yeah, and of course the detail resolution will be then also influenced by that.
Okay, so the different needs depending on.
Yes, exactly. And yes.
It looks like a bit like you baking, like a baking process. Like Mama is doing a big cake, but it's something different coming out, huh?
Yeah. So especially in winter time, it's really nice to work in front of the systems because it's warm.
Okay. For people who are like not aware, like that kind of machine, how long does it take for you to produce it, and how much is it? Like just to have an imagination.
Yeah, very good question. So this small system costs around 250,000 euros. Okay. But this includes the whole package. So it has software, it has the post-processing, it has a whole powder handling. So all of this is already in here. And this makes it possible to run wherever you need it. We have a certain option available as well for the Deutschen Mittelstand.
I was thinking, so for a company who's not like able to have 250,000 to have it at home, like in their workshop, or to place it there, is there a chance like to
rent
it?
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, we placed here a special scenario, so you can rent the system. It's I think 3,000 or 2,900 something euros. You can rent it and you get material, everything what you needed, and also the training to handle the system. This is included, and you can use it as much as you want, and you pay per use somehow. Yeah. And what is also new at our booth, I don't know whether we are maybe running out of time. I have no time in the background. Okay, we have time, so we can also have
take the time.
Yes, you're right.
We can talk for hours.
That's cool. One other thing what we would like to show Denise Schindler is today at our booth here at EOS Formnext. And is the fine detail resolution. We have now the possibility to create very thin wall parts, very detailed resolution. And
what's that?
this is a housing of a certain electronic element, I would say. But actually I have no detailed clue. It's also an electronic element. Yeah, so
we had this, like we had a panel discussion before, and this was introduced as one of the new technologies. So I think that's one of the finest you can actually produce at the moment, if I got right.
Yes, you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. You see that the brand is within. So it's very, very light. It's very, very light. And tell me a bit more about that new process. What is so innovative on it, and what's the difference? Like, what is the new benefit on that new process of fine detail resolution?
So as you know, we are melting the powder with a laser, and the laser spot is usually in a defined size, in a defined diameter available. And this element here, or this fine detail resolution option, now makes it possible to reduce this laser spot size and therefore create very thin walls, very thin elements, and this is something which makes this thin structures which somehow touch and feel like, yeah, not really like a polymer, a 3D printed polymer. It feels more like a soft touch material. Yeah.
What's the finest you can produce here at the moment?
The finest detail is, so I would say our limitation today is actually the powder spot size, the element of the powder. So that has a diameter of around 50 microns, and this is a design microns. So it's thinner than a hair.
That's crazy, yeah. Yeah. And when I hold it in my hand, like this piece is like one sheet of paper, 2 sheets of paper, not more. That's really impressive.
And one thing what you also can do with 3D printing is always, functional integration. And therefore, please have a look at this very fine, thin and fine detailed part. So this is printed in one. And you can see the movements inside, and so yes, this detail resolution makes even this very detailed and function integrated parts possible. So it's really impressive. So just recognized here, so the layer thickness is 40 microns, and the focus diameter is 0.22 millimeters. So it's very, very thin and fine.
So Franziska, we are here at the booth. It's the first day today of the Formnext 2019. How many days are you still here? What can people expect when they come at your booth and would like to visit? Like, I think until Friday they have still a chance, huh?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. So you are totally right. So you are always welcome at our booth. We will be here until Friday. I will be here until tomorrow. So Wednesday will be also included for me here. So I'm responsible for the humaneering and healthcare area. So if you have any question related to mechanical properties, certification, everything is surrounded to the human body. So this will be something on my agenda, and I'm very happy to answer all your questions here. And if you have questions, I think you have also the possibility to ask via live stream later on, or even with LinkedIn. You can always ask us. So Dr. Franziska Fuchs is my name, and asking me at EOS, I'm welcome, or I welcome you to ask questions. So yes. Thank you.
Yeah, just visit by, have a look at the machines, have a look what they are showing with new 3D printed stuff, and yeah, be curious. So come and visit us.
So it's Hall 11-1 and booth D31. Yes, welcome at EOS. Bye.